everyone. Happy Monday. My name is Janelle Villiers, and I am your host of the Janelle Villiers Podcast. And if this is your first time here with me, I just want to say welcome. I'm here on the Janelle Villiers Podcast talking about tips and tricks and how do you actually write the book that's been in your heart and in your head? How do you get it out on paper? And then once you write it, how do you edit that thing? How do you publish? How do you market the book? I'm giving a lot of tips about that. Make sure that you stay tuned and subscribe, follow all the things if that's your jam. But sometimes I have people who are coming on because they really want to hear from some of the guests that I bring on. I love to bring authors on so that way you guys can hear from other authors, hear about their journey, hear about their process, and of course, hear about their books. And then sometimes I bring on some folks who haven't written their book yet, but their story needs to be heard. I'm really excited because today we are going to be talking about a topic that is not going to be answered by me. I have an amazing guest today. Our topic is turning pain to purpose. Are you guys excited for that one? Turning pain to purpose. If this is your first time here on the Janelle Villiers Podcast, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments just so I can shout you out. If you are returning, hey, Melissa, everybody at MP Virtual Solutions, hello. If this is the second, third, fourth, or you are returning to the Janelle Villiers Podcast, go ahead and put a 2 in the comments because I want to make sure I shout you out as well. We're really, really excited to have you here. I'm not going to be the one talking about turning your pain into purpose. I have an amazing guest with me today. I can't wait to interview. You guys have no idea. Not only is she a mom, a daughter of the Lord, but she is also a speaker, a poet, and one of our best-selling authors. Everybody, please welcome Brandy Grillo. Press the wrong button, sorry.
You've believed the lies long enough, the ones that said your worth is in what you've endured. This is where the war ends and healing begins.
Yeah.
There she is, Brandy Grillo. So excited to have you. This has been a journey. Please, I'm just so excited to have you on the show. We were talking backstage and I was saying how I don't think I've had any of the clients that we've worked with actually appear on my podcast, the Janelle Villiers Podcast. We've had others that have appeared on the Say That Channel podcast, but you're the first here. So I am over the moon excited.
Me too. I'm excited because this is my first real live interview since becoming a best-selling author. So for it to be with you on your platform, I'm just so honored. I was like, man, God does things, and I like when he does things.
Say that. Well, we've got a lot of people saying hello. People are excited to see you. So for those who are joining us for the first time and they don't know about your book, or what even inspired you. Maybe there's some people who are watching who are also thinking about writing their book. I'd love for you to share what inspired you to share your story. Why a memoir and not something else?
That is a good question. So I've been inspired because I've wanted to be an author since I was young, but I wanted to write more of a fiction book instead. During my writing journey, when I picked it up again and God was like, you need to do public writing. And I was like, absolutely not. No, I don't want my story out there to everyone. He kind of started changing my heart and my mindset around that. It started to become where my pain is for someone else. And that was very hard for me to understand because there are certain topics that I was cool with talking about, but not all of them. As I grew in my relationship with him, and as I grew as a writer, I started to heal. And you heal, you move differently, you speak differently, you walk differently, you think differently. What I was once scared of, I then decided, well, if it's not about me and it's about you, and my pain wasn't just for me, then I do want to help others. That's what inspired me to say, okay, I will put what I've been through, my deepest, darkest secrets, I will put them in a book and I will put it for the world to read if this is what you're calling me to do, if this is what my purpose is. In that healing process, in that conversation with God, that was what I heard from him. With that, I was like, okay, I will do it. That's what inspired me, is really to serve others and to reach back to other people that may have been in the place that I've been at or are still in the place that I was once at, and to give them some type of hope that they don't have to stay where they're at and that they're not too far.
So I love that. For others to know that they're not going through alone and they're not too far gone. So if you guys haven't gotten her book yet, here it is right there. Need to make sure. I'm really curious to know, what did you find as you were going through the process of actually writing? What did you find the most challenging? Were there any particular stories that you felt like you were holding really close to the chest that you were like, no, I can't share this? Or did everything just seem to come easily for you?
No, it did not come easily for me with certain things. There was a lot of challenging. There was a particular story, but not also just stories. I don't know everyone there, but you helped me get this book out, right? And so you and Winston really stretched me when it came to developing the story, because the story, I know it as, and I have it in my mind, and I know what it is, and my mom knows what it is, and my son knows part of it, and my friends who grew up with me know it. But to get it out was challenging for me, to be able to express it in a way that someone would be able to read it and physically feel it or physically visualize what I'm doing. So that was challenging in some areas. Some areas it was easy, and other ones it got to me. As far as storyline, there was probably 2 stories that were hard for me. Some of them there was a lot that was, but 2 that stick out to me right now is one, writing about my father growing up and even up into the present moment, because I don't have a happy ending yet with that relationship. And so talking about him really was hard in certain places with you guys, and even what recently has happened in the last few years that I was scared about, speaking on it. I was like, do I really go into that? And I believe me and you and Winston had that conversation. How much do I really put in there? And then also me, I believe just who I used to be and writing it out, and you guys asking questions and us having to reread. It was challenging because I'm like, girl, how many times are you going to do this? Or, trying to forgive who I once was while I'm writing it as the person I am. That was challenging for me, especially with a lot of things that I did with my body to my body. And it brought up some topics. There were some times that I even cried with you guys, that it was like, this is challenging. This is really hard to write, but it's not impossible. And I just had to really lean in to you guys encouraging me and really lean into God. Like, you're really asking me to do this? Because this is very challenging right now. And it's hard to do this. But I would say those were probably my 3 biggest ones that were challenging.
And yes, as someone who was there with you during that process, I can remember each one of those instances when we had conversations. I was crying sometimes, right? So I do recognize a lot of that. And so a couple of things I just want to acknowledge. We're going to get to this, but thank you for saying this. MP Virtual Solutions, Janelle Winston are the best at grabbing the story and making it explode out of you. Bren, your course mate, the 2 of you did the course together. One of my
Bren.
And so she was saying it's amazing who we become along the journey of writing. So yes, another author that you can relate to. Yeah. So as you were saying that, one of the things I realized is this is just it. This is the whole point, right? This is even the topic, and I'll have that scrolling at the bottom. This is the title of your book, right? Addicted to Pain. It's a very powerful title. And so what does that phrase really mean to you?
It was a lifestyle. It wasn't just words. It was what I lived. And when you have a toxic belief system, when you have a toxic environment or circumstances, you tend to fester that kind of stuff. So someone who believes in themselves, knows their worth, is not going to put themselves in positions that I did, or do things I did. Not everything was my fault, but a lot of my journey was me just not knowing what life was without drama or without problems or without pain. And it was extra than what we already go through, right? Because life has its troubles. Jesus says that in the Bible. This world is not going to be with that. But us as human beings, we can add more to our plate. And that's what I did. And that's where the title comes from, because it was a lifestyle I did. Just like people can be addicted to living healthy and working out and taking care of themselves, I was the opposite. I was addicted to people that were toxic, environments that were toxic, drugs, and just everything that festered negative outcomes and negative conversations. So that's what that title means. It was what I once lived.
I know, and I don't want to give too much away because you started to talk about that, right? So things that you have put your body through. Right. And then you start talking about some of the drugs, right? And so I tell people all the time, if you ever feel like you are too gone to be redeemed, you need to read her book. Oh my goodness. Because it is such a story of that. And I think what you, like you said, this addiction that you had to a way of being and a way of seeing yourself or having a particular identity. And so I was actually going to ask a follow-up question, which was related to, okay, now how did you turn the pain to purpose? However, people are starting to ask questions in the comments. So I want to make sure we answer people's questions.
Yeah.
This one comes from Winnie WB. What have you learned about yourself after publishing your book?
That I am more than a writer. Listen, writing is something that passion of mine, so I can write. I don't really need a set stage or a set time. I don't have to be like, oh, I've got to write it this time. I can be driving in my car and something will come up and I've got to be like, pull over. And I'm a writer. But this process I have had to learn how to be more than a writer and be more of a student than anything else. So I've really learned, wow, this takes more. And then I can do it. I can do hard things. Challenging things, even things I don't know what to do, because I know when we first started, I was like, I don't know. And those I don't knows had to develop into, well, how can I know? What do I need to learn? How do I build that? So you just become more of what you were starting to be. You just learn and you look back and you're like, dang, I did that. And you're like, I didn't even know how to do it, but you have to learn, or you're just going to stay stuck. And you have support, but not everyone's they can't hold your hand for everything. You also have to learn. Definitely becoming more than a writer. I will say that for sure.
That's awesome. That's actually awesome to see, since I feel like I was a part of that journey. And I feel like you have from that. You've rocked it all, Brandy, in the comments. If you have any questions, please ask your questions, or if you have comments, I will put them up so Brandy can see them and she can answer your questions. So keep those questions coming. And so my question then is, sometimes healing requires a bit of surrender. So what did surrender look like in your journey with God?
Oh, letting go of me. And that was super hard. What I believed, what my perception, the way I saw the world and myself, I had to give all of that up. I literally had to be stripped naked. I had to get rid of so much. And it was like, dang, Lord, how much more do I have to give up? Because so much was deeply rooted. And it's like, okay, for example, if it's anger, where did that anger come from? And then you start to realize, oh, anger may have 10 levels to that thing, and so you have to go through each one. So surrendering to me, it was like being born again. Hold up. I have to let go of everything that I know. I have to unlearn, to relearn. And that's hard. It's hard because us as humans, we want ourselves, right? We want to do it our way. Our flesh, it is us. And that is one of the hardest parts of walking with God, is you have to surrender your life. And so it still is tough, but there are certain areas that it's not as tough anymore. I'm able to be like, okay, I'm going to give it to you. But it's just laying yourself down, and it's a daily practice. It's not just, oh, I'm going to let it go. It was a daily thing I had to remember, because I would start off and I'm good for a week. And then, of course, your pride, it's like, oh, I got this. I could do this. And I'd put myself in something, and boom, I would fall flat on my face again, and I'd get all dirty again. And then, shame can start coming back in, regret, all these things that I just let go of. I felt like a week ago, now they come back. So it's hard because it takes a lot of effort to get healed, but it's so easy to fall off and get those negative emotions to start coming back. And that was, okay, this is a daily surrender that I have to do, no matter where I'm at, no matter who I'm with. I have to remember I'm not her anymore, and I have to move differently. So that is super hard. Yes, healing is not linear. It's not.
And I love that you said it's a daily practice. And sometimes you feel like you're making progress, and then you're back, almost feels like you're back at step one, and then you keep going, right? So we're going to have to, I could talk to you all day because I have a lot of other things. So please, if you guys have more questions, keep putting them in the comments. We will read the comments after. I will make sure that Brandy answers all of them. I wanted to wrap up with 2 questions. One is, when readers finish reading your book, what do you want them to walk away believing about themselves and about God?
I want them to have hope. That is a big one for me. I was very hopeless. And I want them to have the hope that their life can look totally different, that their circumstances, their perspective, their traumas, their pain, whatever it is, it doesn't stay that way when you get into the presence and relationship with God, because things have to shift. They have to change. You cannot stay the same when you meet Jesus. It's impossible. So that he loves you, that he sees you, that he hears you, that he knows more about you than anyone else in this world. And he knew you before you were even formed in your mother's womb. So he knows everything that you've done, everything you're gonna do, and everything you are doing. And he still calls you his. He still loves you. And that's the your mess can become a message. I never would have thought the mess would bring me here, especially doing interviews and becoming a best-selling author. I see myself as an author. I would love that. But for it to be what I went through that almost killed me or almost destroyed me, no, I wouldn't have. So yeah, definitely that Jesus loves you and that you are worth more than you know. And once you know that, life will change. Life can definitely change no matter what age you are.
I love that. And I certainly feel people who have read it will get that message. And if you are some of those people who have read her book, please put in the comments that you read it and if that's exactly what you took away. I will put in the comments how to buy Brandy's book. But as we close out, what is next in the journey for you, Brandy?
I've got some other books that I want to write. We're definitely getting into that. Building my brand, Words That Speak. Definitely want to build that more. And definitely helping women, toxic belief systems, that has my core mission. And I hope to now start being able to do that. And yeah, that's my next journey as far as this part goes. I'm just excited for what it looks like now. It's so new for me because I'm the writing part, right? And now this is all very new. It's a little different, but I am learning, okay, I got to follow where God's leading me. I just think the best is yet to come. There's just so much more than what I'm even giving you that I think he has for me that I just don't know about yet.
Say that. Well, yes, I see it too for you. I can't wait to witness it, to see as more opportunities come, as you change more and more people's lives. Yeah, I can already envision it, and I can't wait to see where it leads you. So thank you so much again for joining us. Say that. Well, yes, I see it too for you. I can't wait to witness it, to see as more opportunities come, as you change more and more people's lives. Yeah, I can already envision it, and I can't wait to see where it leads you. So thank you so much again for joining us.